Hello, what is going on, guys? Hi, I can actually say hi to you. Today, we are doing our very first video podcast. Let me know what you guys think about the style and the format that we're going to be doing, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, either or. Just let me know. Give me some feedback. I always appreciate it. It helps me learn and grow as a content creator to create better content for you as the viewer. But anyway, I am your host, Mewing Llama. Welcome back to another episode of the Full Tilt Podcast. So, earlier today, if you were in my live stream on August 2nd, I've already been over this, talked about all this stuff, but I felt like I wanted to record it and share it with you guys in a more controlled environment rather than just, randomly shooting from the hip in a live stream format. I wanted to, be here with you guys. But so as you guys know, we mainly focus on gaming here, and more specifically inside the gaming scene, my favorite game, which is Counter-Strike, right? So today, as of August 2nd, we got another major update with Counter-Strike 2. Obviously, we're not going to be getting anything with CSGO, but we got another one with Counter-Strike 2. And we got 2 new maps today. And I don't know if I said it on the last episode of the podcast or not, but I've been saying it around in my other content that I anticipated the launch for CS2 to be, around the second week of September, so around September 14th, so somewhere around there. I think I was saying about the 12th to the 14th, just because generally with the amount of maps that we had left still to test, I say they did, the developers, and them taking about 3 weeks or so to get through each of the map cycles. Well, as I'm reading right here on Twitter, I went back and looked, and I saw that July 17th was the release of Overpass and Vertigo, right? Which was the maps that they've been testing over the last 2 weeks now. It hasn't even been a full 3 weeks. So they're getting almost faster and faster on that. So, I was looking at that, and I'm like, okay, so maybe we're going to be looking at more of a right at the break of September, we might be getting the game. Like literally, like we are closing in on, I think no later than, I think it's going to be 7 weeks before fall hits. So they have to release within that window to still make that summer cut. And I thought it was going to be really close to that, but now I'm starting to think that it's going to be like right at the break of September is when we're going to get it. Maybe like within the first week of September. In between, I would say from when September hits to the 14th still, I think is when we're going to get it, because it depends on if they drop the game right after they finish testing all of the maps, or if they're going to test all the maps and then like maybe take an extra week or two, and maybe fix a little things here and there, and then throw it all out to us. I don't know. I mean, obviously this is just pure speculation at this point. But anyway, since we're doing this more video format on here, I've got a couple things that I want to show you guys. So with the release of each of the new setups of maps, Counter-Strike, the official Twitter page, always posts a video, and I want to take a look at this with you guys. This is Ancient, right? Which we knew, if you guys were a fan of Flom, he was one of the guys, the original guys that tested the map out in Seattle. They flew him out to do some like undercover work, and he had mentioned when they had announced CS2 that Ancient was one of the ones that they tested. So this was nothing new to me, right? I was like, okay, I noticed a lot of people were like, oh, Ancient's confirmed, right? And this is Temple. This is CT spawn over here. Where this red sign is to the left is where CT spawn is. Just to give you an idea of where this is at on the map. Looks nice, right? However, this next thing that pops up, boom! I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Look at this. Like, this is Anubis. One of the things that I had been talking about back in the second week of July when they released Overpass and Vertigo, I was talking about, our timetables and our time windows on when CS2 could possibly getting released, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's gonna be like August 5th or whatever the clock on Overpass was, and I'm like, nah, that's way too early, man. They've still got Ancient to test, they've still got Italy to test, they've still got Inferno to test. We know that those maps exist, right? So they still have to at least test 3 more, and if they're gonna do all the active duties, they still got Anubis to test. We don't know anything about Anubis, and if they're gonna do any other maps that we don't know about, maybe sneak in an older map or like Santorini or Cobblestone or something like that. But we had no information on Anubis as far as I knew. So them dropping Anubis, I was like, oh, okay, so we are getting Anubis. And then, you know, shortly, a couple minutes after they posted this video, they posted their patch notes, which we'll get to, their release notes for CS2. But they gave us this. They gave us Ancient, and they gave us Anubis. So now we know that those two maps are confirmed the next two maps that are in the lineup for that. So I was like, okay. So that leaves us now with the maps that we know are still left to do, and that is going to be Anubis, Italy, and Inferno, which if they're sticking with themes, then yeah, it makes sense, you know, for those. And also, they lost my train of thought. So it hadn't been a full 3 weeks on the previous set of maps, right? Well, Ancient and Anubis are like the newest ones for CS:GO, right? So those are already maps that you know, they've kind of ironed out in recent time on things that they, you know, needed to clear up. So this could be a quick, you know, map test period. This could be a quick like 2 weeks, maybe a little less than 2 weeks, and that could put us, you know, right about the midway point of August, giving us the last set of maps, Italy and Inferno, which I don't think Inferno was confirmed, but I mean, through like, you know, the data boys and all that stuff doing their weird data crap that they do in finding out all the stuff, we've seen multiple, and I'm gonna see if I can actually pull up the stuff for Inferno. Give me just a second. I know Agua and Gabe Follower are the big guys that always release the stuff, and I can never remember which one releases what, but Aquarius, let me go to his Twitter page and see if he's got his stuff. But we got plenty of stuff to talk about when it comes to the CS2 stuff, though. I already talked about all the UI changes and everything, which I'm super stoked about, don't get me wrong, but yeah, here it is. It wasn't either one of them, actually. It was at pdillon002 if you guys want to check him out on Twitter. So this is the new stuff with Inferno. If you guys haven't seen this, I guess I could full screen this, make this a little bit nicer. So we've got this image of a site. Obviously, there's some pretty glaring in-your-face changes that they've made to the game. Like the railings over here on the left side are missing. The barrels are still in place. Graveyard, the little half wall there is gone. All the boxes on the site are still there. And there's this little overhang here, which I noticed, which is different from Inferno, right? Because this looks like a roof, not the balcony. There's no doors right here. I mean, it's not, they weren't openable, but there were doors right here. And then we move on to another one, this being obviously construction or church, whatever you want to call it, whatever region you're from, right? They've got different names for it. So that's the inside of church. A lot cleaner looking now. This is T-spawn coming out. This railing right here on the left side of the staircase is gone. And then this being B-site, which a lot has changed. And I was actually talking about this on my stream earlier about how Overpass was a revamp, right? It wasn't just a copy and paste put into CS2. They actually put in a lot of work on that map and changing various things about the map. And Inferno looks like it's got the same thing, right? It looks definitely updated, right? Like if you look at the walls and the bricks and stuff, it looks less rugged but more rugged at the same time. I don't know, it's a little weird and hard to explain, but all these were like little water tanks. You know, first they were boxes of crates of oranges and stuff like that, which is why you get the call orange and all that stuff. But now they're these little wooden walls and all this stuff. And then with no skyboxes, I was thinking to myself how it's going to be extremely difficult throwing utility, because half of the utility you bank it off of, you know, nothing that is the skybox, right? So I was thinking, well, if they want to keep the integrity of Inferno, they're going to have to, you know, add stuff like, well, what they gave us here on B-site, these scaffoldings. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to have like overhangs and stuff like that, where you can bounce stuff off of. And it looks like that's what we've got. You know, Inferno hasn't been confirmed, though, so we don't really know anything about Inferno. But I mean, this pretty much all but confirms that Inferno's in there. So that leaves us with The two maps, Ancient and Anubis, which I think are going to be pretty quick in the rotation, and then we're going to have Inferno in Italy as the last two. And like I said, whether they test those two maps and then they drop the game and give us a release date or something like that, or they take a break right after that, clean up a couple of things, and then release the game, that's still yet to be determined. You don't know. You'll never know. We won't know. We can only speculate, and time will tell on what actually happens with that. So I guess we can go over the patch notes, which, I mean, the patch notes really weren't anything. We got some more stuff right here. This was obviously today. They disabled Wingman, added Anubis to all the game modes. They added Ancient to all but the competitive game modes. They removed the two previous maps. The chickens can swim. I mean, I guess that's cool if you care about that at all. Weapon splash, in the water sounds, adjusted grenade and water interaction sounds. So two different sound things. Improved animations, and one thing that they didn't throw in here is this bomb inspect animation, which you can now inspect the bomb, which, I mean, obviously skin people are going to go crazy. They're going to be like, oh my god, are we finally going to get skins for the bomb, which there already is one. You can it's a little gift, like it's wrapped up, a little gift present, and you rip it open and plant the bomb, right? Like that's the only skin that's even in the game. But pretty clean animation. The little spin, I think, is kind of a nice little flair, and it could make for some pretty epic frag movie moments, So anyway, so that's that, a little bit of information if you guys care about it at all. But the big thing is, with Aqua is missing, Aquarius, right? Like I said, he's one of the data guys, and literally right before I started recording this, I actually saw that he had posted some more stuff. And literally just as at this moment, he just posted a new thing talking about the bomb pullout animation being slower, which it does look like from what I've seen. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. But looking through some of the data that they got from the latest patch, he posted this thing that says that the latest major Counter-Strike 2 update indicates that the Premier competitive mode will get an overhaul featuring quote-unquote seasons, right? So we have had this game mode called Premier in Counter-Strike for a long time now, right? It's nothing new. Mainly tailored towards, 5 stacks. That's typically the type of players that you see playing that, if, people are really playing MM at all. And it's got a more competitive environment to it, like a veto system with the maps, picking bans on the maps, kind of like how you do if you go and play on Face It. So we might be getting a little bit more in-depth look at I'm hoping before the game comes out we'll actually see something more about this, rather than just like text information, maybe some data lines of code and stuff like that. I hope that we'll get a little bit more on that. But basically what we're expecting is that you're going to have an ELO. Whether or not it's going to be a visible ELO or not, we don't know. But it seems to be it's going to be tied to Premier itself. There's going to be multiple seasons a year, which we've never had anything like that, like a rank reset, really. It's usually like after a couple years, Valve does some rank adjustment or something like that. That's pretty much all that we get in terms of that. Whereas, like, the other competitors in the shooter genre, like Overwatch and Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege and all that, they have legitimate seasons where they have a cutoff point where it's like, okay, now that you're done, your rank resets and then you move on, right? So we haven't had that with CS, and I don't know how to feel about that. And I know a lot of people are going to complain and be like, oh, but this is a CS, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to do placements and all that. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, we don't know everything yet. Oh my God. Hello. Rude. You want to say hi? Hi. What's up, dude? We haven't seen that yet with CS, and it's gonna be only tied to Premier, right? And it seems to be that it's gonna be tied to the majors, right? There's 2 majors a year, and what they've given us so far has been, let's see, we've got a screenshot with it, but it says something along so they've got season's looking something like limited test, 2023 fall, 2024 spring, and 2024 fall. So it's going to be about 2 seasons a year, one CS2 major to another, right? That seems to be kind of like what they're going for here. And I was talking about how, Face It has done so well with like hubs and everything like that, leagues, all that crap. They've done such a great job with that in ESEA with the seasons, but now ESEA and Face It are kind of merging and becoming the same thing. So it's like if they can streamline that and make that basically make CSGO the one-stop shop for all things Counter-Strike, from leaderboards to rankings to literally team settings, everything, all that. If they can do all of that in CS, that would be like the dream, right? Valorant introduced Premier, ironically enough, named and spelled the exact same way, where you sign up with a team, a region, things like that. You're placed based on players on the team and their ranks. You're placed in certain tiers, and then you play through a couple of weeks, several weeks, a couple of months, and then you do a postseason and all that to try to climb and all that. Does it go anywhere? That I don't know. I can't answer that. Those of you guys that play Overwatch would be able to better inform me on that. But if you could play CS from within CS and play through seasons and climb the leaderboards, and that could be a main route straight into the esports scene, right? Where you don't have to go through, the ESEA Open to Intermediate to Main to Premier and, FPL and all that stuff to climb up through and get into, the tier 1 spots. If you could just organically do that straight through the game itself, that would be fantastic to streamline that. If they teamed up with Face It, to help them do that, I think that would be great. Because that's the one thing that CS suffers from, is that split in the community where, you've got like 70% of your players playing on one client, you got 20% playing on the other, and everybody else is left playing on the actual game itself. The entire community is just spread all over the place, right? So if you can bring everybody together, that is like the ultimate thing that you want from your game. But anyway, that is something to kind of ponder and think about moving forward, now that we know that is a thing. And I was hoping that they were going to do something with Premiere. And I had somebody today actually say that they wished that the CS had gotten to doing, Premiere and what we know in Valorant before Valorant did it. And I'm like, well, League has been doing that with Clash for years, so that's nothing new. And I didn't think that Valve wanted to mess with anything major like that in CSGO. They wanted to, because we didn't really get any major updates for the last couple of years in CS. We got a couple of them, but nothing major, right? So it was kind of nice to see them wait until, CS2 comes out, which is the next big thing for them, and just give us everything with it, instead of giving us this, unfinished, unprepared Premiere, and then we go into CS2 with this bad taste in our mouth of Premiere. I'm glad that they waited. I think it was better for them too. But like, I'm gonna be playing nothing but CS if it's like that. If you have a leaderboard, you have a team, you can grab a team, which that hasn't been confirmed yet. But going along with that, I want to show you guys this. A couple hours ago, Aqua posted this right here. You can take a look at everything up here. You've got the home button, you've got your watch button, which hopefully they'll bring back Overwatches is a great time for a lot of people in the community. You've got your settings, you've got your quit button, your inventory loadout play, CS360, the stat thing for CS. Looks like that's still going to be a thing. Your news tab, which I don't know if they're still going to have the news tab on the homepage, probably. But here you've got matchmaking practice, workshop maps, and then whatever, if this is a button that is actually a clickable thing. And then here you've got Premier, Competitive, Wingman, Casual, Deathmatch, and Private Matchmaking. And then you can see in here it says Your Party. So it's not a team, it just kind of looks at everybody's stats from within the party. Obviously, this guy is not in a party with anybody else, but you see right here a visible CS rating right here. Now, I don't think that this is going to be anything to do with your ranks. I think it's going to be like an HLTV-esque rating, right? But you see that there's 4 digits, and there's really only 3 digits that are used in HLTV. So I'm interested to see what this might be. This could be the rank. And the reason why I think it might be like an ELO is, and I'll show you in a second, right? You see wins, total wins, win percentage, your global. You can see your map, your success rate on all the maps and everything like that. So, that's something, right? But this right here is what makes me think that this could be not just an HLTV type rating, but an actual ELO, visible ELO that we've never had before in Counter-Strike, right? Is this right here. CS rating in some sort of individual ELO, which is used only in Premiere. Remember I said before, only in Premiere, right? Ranging from a 0 to a 35, each in 5.0 increments in a different color. And right now they're using what appears to be the skin rarities. So like your grays, your blues, your purples, pinks, reds, and then your golds, right? Keep in mind that at this point in time, anything and everything is subject to change. And I'm glad that he said that, because that is something that a lot of people fail to realize, is that, this is tested stuff. So things are going to change. They're susceptible to change. Feedback, obviously. I don't think they're going to stick with this color range, but who knows, they might. But this could be our first look at a ELO system within the game of Counter-Strike itself, and we've never had that, and that's exciting. And I know that's something that a lot of people have been looking forward to and hoping that we were going to get at some point, but it looks like we might actually be getting that moving into CS2. So that's pretty much all the new stuff that's been going on with that. I am beyond excited. I just hope that they keep the ranks with the ELO, if that makes sense. So like if you're, I don't know, like I'm looking at these right here, like the grays could be all silvers, the blues could be novas, the purple and pinks could be MG, and then like the red and the first tier of yellow could be, I don't know, DMG, LE, LEM, and then Supreme, and then Global being the last two. I would like for them to sort it like that, because I don't know, something about the ranks. I really like the ranks in CSGO. And I mean, previous iterations of CS, not just CSGO, but CSGO being the one that everybody's playing right now, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I mean, I'm open for change with the new system, the new buy system and all that. Like, I hope that I can just buy set buy binds, right, and it completely eliminates my opinion on it, because I really could care less about what it looks like if I don't ever have to look at it anyway, right? But I'm open to change, and I think Counter-Strike 2 is going to blow the roof off. And I think so many people are coming back. We even had Stewie2K talking about, he's like, oh man, with the cathedral going on in Cologne right now, he was like, man, it makes me miss that and all that. And everybody's like, CS2 return, just come back with CS2. And I think a lot of people are going to, especially since the game is free to play. I just worry about a lot of the people coming from Valorant that are going to try and play, and they're going to get frustrated and not understand things, because there's so many things that CSGO does that Valorant also does, but Valorant does in a simplified way. And I think it's just going to turn a lot of people off from CSGO or CS. But I mean, that's just part of it. You know what I mean? It's a tougher game. It is one of the most mechanically intense esports and competitive shooters that has ever existed. But I really hope that they implement, like I was saying before with the whole Face It thing, I really, really, really hope that they do like the seasons thing, and maybe there's tiers to the teams and all that. Like, I hope it's not... It seems like it's going to be an individual statistic where, like, your ELO or your rating or whatever is based on your individual performance, which is okay to have that, but I would love for there to be a team ranking system. And I mean teams, not a party system, a team system where you register a name for a team and your rosters, and there's lock-ins and things like that. I would absolutely love for that. And why I talk about it like this is I think how Premiere does it, where it's based on elo with your team, so it could literally be anywhere from, you know, the bottom of the barrel, you know, your silver ones, all the way to global elite. And obviously they're not going to play against each other because they're going to be in different tiers. I would just love for there to be that option for people of all skill ranges to be able to experience it, because there I have competed in Counter-Strike, I have competed in Valorant, I have competed in Overwatch, I have competed in Fortnite, I have competed competitively in a team environment in several different games, and nothing beats Counter-Strike's. It's different, man. And if you've never experienced it, I hope one day that you get the opportunity to experience it. Whether you sign up for a tournament and face it or something like that and really prepare for it. I've never faced greater competition than I have in CS, and I've done better in other games, and I've played against quote-unquote better competition in relative terms in these other games, but I've had a harder time finding success in CSGO because of how much harder it is and how much I feel like the floor is higher in a game like CS, where to be, well, maybe floor higher is not the right answer. It just feels like the worst are still better than in a lot of games. And I just would love for there to be like a seasonal premiere team setting like that, just because it would keep me on the game nonstop. I'd be playing all the time, and especially if it's streamlined like that. You know, it's so difficult, and you wouldn't think it would be, but it's so difficult to get people to transition from like CS on Steam and then go and sign up for Faceit or ESEA and then play over there instead. It's just those extra steps. People are lazy, man. People aren't willing to do stuff like that. So if you streamline it and put it in there, man, I would love it to be like that. And I think it would keep people playing. The whole season thing, I think, is good, instead of like every 3 years you do a rank recalibration or rebalancing or something like that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the opinions that I've got on it. I love that they're giving us more statistics without us having to pay, you know, like to do the CS360 thing and stuff like that. And I mean, we've got Leadify now, which is a pretty in-depth analysis of statistics and everything that you don't have to pay for, but I mean, it's nice to. So I don't know, man. I'm being very patient, and I'm waiting, and we've been burned so much by these titles that have come out in recent times, where it's just these games come out unfinished and unpolished, and Valve does not have a track record like that, which is a good thing. They're very slow in their process, but when they're ready, you know what you're getting is ready, because they've taken their time regardless of feedback and people lashing out and all that stuff. Like, regardless of all that, we have a good product on our hands, and I think CS2 is going to be something that a lot of people have been patiently waiting for. And I know I'm one of them, where it's like, I want it, like right now I want my hands on it, but like ever since they've announced CS2 in the beta limited test and all that, and I haven't gotten in, I've come to accept the fact that, you know, I'm probably not gonna get in on it, so I'll just wait, and I'll continue to train, and I'll continue to play other games, and I will be ready when the time comes for the game coming out. And I'm not, you know, over here on a witch hunt looking and trying to find the, you know, the exact moment that, you know, this is going to come out. I have done simple math, and I'm like, okay, I should probably expect the game to come out from this day to this day, and that's what I've stuck with, and that's where I'm at right now. It is August 2nd, the evening of August 2nd, and I would expect as early as this time next month is when we'll have access to, as late as like the end of the second week in September. And I'm holding on to that. If we get it earlier, sweet, that's a great surprise. If not, oh, you know, I wasn't expecting it anyway, right? And that's the type of attitude that I have for it. But I mean, I guess we could talk about a little bit of the ESL stuff, but I mean, there's really not, I don't know, I don't really have a lot to talk about with that. I'm just here and ready to play some CS2, and had this information get dropped on me today right before my stream, and I just wanted to sign on here and share that information with you guys, inform you guys on what's going on, my thoughts on it, my plans moving forward. Obviously, with Counter-Strike 2 coming out, you guys know I'm going to be giving you all kinds of CS2 information. Anything that I get, I will be making content on, and educating people and revitalizing what once was a thriving CSGO community now into a reinvented and thriving CS2 community. But I mean, I think that's pretty much all I've got for you guys in this episode. I appreciate you guys taking the time and listening to me. Once again, I know we're doing our first video format here. Let me know what you guys thought about the setup with having the screen. You know, we could go over and look at stuff together and all that. Just let me know. Just give me some feedback on it if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you didn't like about it, what you did like about it. And feel free to tweet at me, follow me on all my socials. Everything is under the tag Mewing Llama. I don't really have an outro for you guys, so all I can say is just do me one favor, stay safe, stay awesome out there, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Appreciate you guys listening. I'll see you guys later.